Nash Falls. Introduction. A thriller about identity, betrayal, and reinvention. David Baldacci's Nash Falls is a high-velocity thriller built on a deep emotional core. What happens when an ordinary man is pulled into a world where every truth crumbles, every choice is a trap, and every breath could be the last? Walter Nash is a mid-career corporate professional who's thrust into a violent, life-shattering conspiracy after the death of his estranged father. The book follows his descent into danger, his forced transformation, and his eventual rebirth as a man forged by trauma, betrayal, and survival. This summary explores each major arc, subplot, turning point, and emotional layer in detail. 1. Walter Nash, the man before the fall. Walter Nash lives a routine life in a Washington, D.C. suburb. He's not famous, nor powerful, nor remarkable in any outward sense. He's a dependable corporate operations manager at a major logistics and supply chain company called 𝐃𝐚𝐳𝐬𝐿. He provides for his wife Emily and their teenage daughter Harper. His life has comfort, predictability, and the illusion of stability. But beneath that normal life rests a shadow. His estranged father, Eldon Nash, a former law enforcement officer who vanished from his life decades earlier. The story begins when Walter receives a call. His father has died. And with that death, the stable facade of Walter's world begins to crack. 2. The funeral that changed everything. Walter travels alone to a small, aging Virginia town for his father's funeral. He expects emptiness, bitterness, and closure, but he encounters none of these. Instead, he finds a sparsely attended funeral, strange men observing him, a sealed box in his father's belongings, a minister who seems nervous, a local sheriff who watches Walter too closely. But the real shift comes when a woman approaches him after the service, Special Agent Dana Calhoun of the FBI. She drops a bombshell. Your father was killed, and your company may be involved. Walter thinks it's absurd. He's an office professional, not a spy, not a criminal. But Calhoun sees something else in him. His father's investigative instincts, his clean background, his perfect placement inside 𝐃𝐚𝐳𝐬𝐿, his ability to blend in, his desperation for answers. She asks for 5 minutes. Those 5 minutes change Walter's life forever. 3. The FBI's secret proposal. Calhoun reveals the core premise of the book. 𝐃𝐚𝐳𝐬𝐿, Walter's company, is under federal investigation. Suspicious financial activity, illegal shipments, and potential ties to an international criminal network have surfaced, but the FBI can't get inside the operations without tipping off the criminals. They need someone, already inside, invisible, with access to internal systems, with no criminal suspicion, with personal motivation. Walter Nash fits the profile perfectly. At first he refuses. He wants nothing to do with danger. But then Calhoun reveals a final detail. Your father spent his last months investigating a case connected to your company. He died for it. The hook lands. Walter agrees, not out of courage, but out of grief, guilt, and the need to understand the father who abandoned him.
4. The descent begins. Walter goes undercover. The FBI trains Walter quickly and quietly. Digital extraction methods, recognizing coded communications, counter-surveillance, emergency communication, stress conditioning. He's not a spy, but he's smart, focused, and driven by unresolved wounds. The FBI instructs him to observe suspicious executives, access encrypted databases, identify offshore accounts, trace illegal logistics routes, report anything involving Project Riverwalk, a secretive internal program. Walter's world turns from spreadsheets and meetings to paranoia and risk. He returns to work changed, more cautious, more observant, more isolated. His wife Emily senses something is wrong. His daughter Harper sees his tension. His co-workers notice his absence and distracted state. He tells none of them the truth. This marks the slow breakdown of his old life. 5. 𝐃𝐚𝐳𝐿, a corporate maze of secrets. Walter uncovers unusual patterns. Shipments mislabeled as medical supplies. Financial transfers routed through shell corporations. Mid-level managers receiving unexplained bonuses. Anomalies in inventory movement. A warehouse off the books. A secret task group of executives with restricted system access. One name keeps appearing. Michael Rourke, Senior VP of Operations. He's respected, feared, charismatic, and deeply dangerous. Walter also encounters a mysterious employee who warns him, "Stop digging." A finance analyst who disappears after emailing Walter encrypted files. A warehouse foreman who threatens Walter outright. The company isn't just corrupt, it's infected. Walter becomes the center of attention and suspicion. 6. Disaster strikes. Walter's life is destroyed. As Walter digs deeper, the criminal enterprise fights back. First blow. Emily and Harper are threatened. Their car brakes are tampered with. Second blow. Walter is framed for internal misconduct. His position becomes unstable. Third blow. His home is invaded. A message is carved into the wall. "Stop, or you lose everything." Fourth blow. The FBI's safe communication line is compromised. Walter realizes there is a mole, either in the FBI or his company. Fifth blow. The shattering moment. Emily and Harper leave for safety, but disappear en route. Walter is driven into madness, grief, and rage. His family is gone. His home is destroyed. His identity is broken. He spirals into despair, and then into cold, calculating determination. This is the turning point where Walter Nash becomes someone else.
7. Walter falls and rises. In hiding, Walter undergoes a transformation. He trains himself physically. He sharpens his investigative skills. He reopens his father's old case files. He traces connections between his father's death and Integratrans. He finds coded messages left behind by Eldon. He uncovers the existence of an international criminal syndicate called the Combine, using U.S. logistics chains to move illicit goods, money, and weapons. Walter realizes his father wasn't absent. He was protecting him. And now Walter takes up the mantle. He becomes a ghost. No home, no name, no attachments. His old life burned away. This is the emotional core of the novel, the fall of Walter Nash and the rise of a man shaped by grief, vengeance, and purpose. 8. The war against the Combine. Walter launches a one-man assault on the criminal network. He infiltrates secure facilities. He manipulates internal data systems. He sends evidence anonymously to journalists. He exposes fraudulent shipments. He disrupts international supply routes. He sabotages financial accounts. He confronts executives directly. He becomes a problem too dangerous to ignore. The Combine strikes back. A bounty is placed on him. Hitmen pursue him across states. His FBI handler is removed from the case. A corrupt sheriff tries to arrest him. His father's old partner attempts to kill him. Walter survives each attack barely, becoming more hardened, more ruthless. He is no longer the man who sat in corporate meetings. He is becoming something else entirely. 9. The big reveal, what Project Riverwalk really is. Late in the story, Walter learns the truth behind Project Riverwalk. It is a covert distribution network designed to merge legitimate supply chain operations with criminal shipments so seamlessly that detection becomes nearly impossible. 𝐃𝐚𝐳 wasn't being used. It was built for this. And Walter uncovers the horrifying detail. His father was the whistleblower who discovered it years earlier. Eldon tried to bring down the network. He infiltrated their ranks. He nearly succeeded, but was killed before he could expose the truth. Now Walter becomes the final link in the chain that began decades earlier.
10. The final confrontation. Walter gathers evidence, mountains of it. He infiltrates the company's executive compound during a massive board event meant to finalize a major international partnership that would expand the criminal network globally. He confronts Michael Rourke in a tense, explosive showdown. Accusations, revelations, proof, firearms drawn, suppressed secrets exposed, betrayals unearthed, hidden alliances uncovered. Work reveals he killed Eldon Nash. He ordered the kidnapping of Walter's family. He planned to eliminate Walter after framing him. The mole in the FBI has already activated a kill order. The confrontation triggers chaos, gunfire, alarms, explosions, and an escape sequence that leaves multiple executives dead and the facility burning. Walter escapes with the evidence, barely alive. 11. The ending, a cliffhanger that stunned readers. Walter hands over the evidence to trusted agents outside the corrupted FBI chain. Operation Riverwalk collapses. Executives are arrested. International partners cut ties. The Combine suffers massive global damage. But the personal story does not end neatly. The book closes with 3 shocking developments. Walter's family is still missing. They were never recovered. The FBI mole is still active and watching Walter. Walter receives a message from an anonymous source. They're alive. If you want them back, come find us. The last line of the book confirms it. Walter Nash's war is only beginning. It's a setup for a series, and the ending frustrated and thrilled readers in equal measure. 12. The emotional fallout. Walter's psychological breakdown. After escaping the burning executive compound, Walter collapses in an abandoned farmhouse miles outside the city. This section of the book dives intensely into Walter's psychological state, and the summary expands that. He experiences panic attacks. He hallucinates his daughter calling for him. He sees flashes of his father's death. He hears his wife Emily screaming. He feels overwhelming guilt for bringing danger into their lives. This breakdown is not just emotional. Baldacci uses it to show the profound transformation Walter is undergoing. His grief becomes weaponized. His fear turns to fuel. His identity fractures and reforms. He is no longer the man he once was. He becomes someone forged by violence, loss, and purpose. 13. The father's legacy, Eldon Nash's hidden trail. As Walter recovers, he finds more clues left behind by his father. Eldon Nash wasn't just investigating corruption, he was mapping the entire structure of the Combine. His notes reveal, the Combine operates in cells across multiple countries. Each cell uses a legitimate business as a front: logistics, pharmaceuticals, construction, energy. 𝐃𝐚𝐳 is one of several keystone hubs essential to linking smaller cells. Walter realizes, Eldon wasn't running from him, he was protecting him. This revelation hits Walter emotionally. He weeps for lost years. He replays childhood memories. He forgives his father. He understands that the fight he's in was inherited. This deepens Walter's motivation and strengthens his resolve. 14. Agent Dana Calhoun's secret struggle.
The narrative shifts to reveal what's been happening inside the FBI. Agent Calhoun, Walter's handler, is under tremendous pressure. Her bureau superiors force her off the case. Files on Walter are sealed. Evidence he gathered disappears. Internal Affairs interrogates her. She is accused of misconduct and unauthorized operations. Why? Because the mole inside the FBI is covering up everything. Calhoun begins her own covert investigation. She tracks encrypted communications between the FBI and a shell corporation tied to IntegriTrans. She uncovers hints that high-ranking officials may be involved. She realizes Walter is the only one who knows the full truth now. This transforms Calhoun from a supporting character into a parallel protagonist, a woman fighting an internal war against corruption at the federal level. Her arc sets up the next book.
15. The hunt for Walter Nash intensifies. Meanwhile, the Combine launches an aggressive search for Walter. Satellite monitoring of known hideouts. A federal-level manhunt using corrupt agents. Bounties placed on criminal networks. Bribery of local law enforcement. Hackers breaching Walter's digital footprint. Surveillance of his remaining relatives. Alerts sent to airports and borders. Walter becomes a ghost, constantly moving, constantly disappearing. But the Combine underestimates him. Instead of hiding, Walter starts hunting them. 16. The kidnapping plot. Where are Emily and Harper? One of the most suspenseful arcs in the novel is the mystery of Walter's missing family. The deeper Walter digs, the more terrifying the truth becomes. The Combine doesn't kill family members immediately. They use them as leverage. They transport them across state lines. They hold them in temporary black sites, hidden, unregistered safe houses. Walter uncovers a chilling detail from his father's old notes. Family is currency to them. He realizes his wife and daughter are alive, but only until the Combine needs Walter silenced. This becomes his ultimate driving force. 18. Walter's journey into the underworld. Walter infiltrates multiple environments to gather intel. 1. Underground poker rooms used for money laundering. He confronts mid-level Combine operatives disguised as gamblers. 2. A warehouse on the outskirts of Baltimore. He witnesses a brutal beating connected to illegal shipments. 3. A charity front used for international donations. Walter discovers millions funneled through fake relief organizations. 4. A covert data farm in rural Tennessee. He retrieves files mapping the Combine's digital communication networks. 5. A coded meeting between corrupt executives and politicians. He spies from a distance, nearly being caught. Each infiltration increases danger and reveals more about the Combine's reach. Walter documents everything: photos, recordings, passwords, names. He becomes a shadow investigator with a vengeance.
18. The allies Walter never expected. As Walter sinks deeper into the criminal world, he gains unexpected allies. 1. Camila Reyes, a brilliant hacker who used to work for the Combine but defected after they killed her brother. 2. Jake Lorne, a former Marine turned private investigator. He owes Eldon Nash his life. 3. Thaddeus Klein, a financial analyst inside IntegriTrans who secretly helped Walter's father. Together, they form a small, unofficial rebellion against the Combine. They're not a perfect team. They argue, mistrust one another, and carry emotional wounds.
but they share a common purpose: destroy the Combine before the Combine destroys them. 19. The Combine's internal power struggle. An interesting subplot in the extended summary. Inside the Combine, all is not stable. As Walter's actions damage their infrastructure, the crime syndicate fractures. Factions blame each other for failures. Executives turn on one another. Internal assassinations begin. Leadership becomes paranoid. The FBI mole becomes more desperate. Walter is unknowingly triggering a civil war within the organization. This makes him more dangerous to them than any federal agency. 20. The shocking discovery: the FBI mole's identity. Late in the story, one of the biggest twists emerges. The mole inside the FBI is revealed to be Deputy Director Markham, a charismatic, respected, publicly admired figure in federal law enforcement. His motive? He's been receiving payments for years, building political capital via the Combine, using his position to protect the syndicate, manipulating cases to eliminate threats, orchestrating false leads, hiding federal crimes under secrecy labels. He personally authorized the order to kill Eldon Nash. He personally ordered the kidnapping of Walter's family. And he personally issued a federal kill order on Walter. This reveal is massive. It changes everything. 21. Walter's final mission in the book. With this knowledge, Walter launches one final mission, the climax of the extended story. Objectives: expose Deputy Director Markham, reveal the Combine structure, bring down Project Riverwalk completely, recover his family, survive. The plan: Walter decides to break into the FBI data center, extract classified files Markham deleted, leak them to independent investigators, force the FBI to turn against Markham, trigger international arrests, use the chaos to locate Emily and Harper. The final chapters feel like a heist thriller meets political drama. Walter nearly dies multiple times. He shoots his way out of an ambush. He escapes through a river drain. He climbs elevator shafts. He hacks digital systems while bleeding. Baldacci pushes Walter to his absolute limits, but Walter succeeds. He leaks everything. The aftermath? Victory that feels like defeat. The Combine collapses. Markham is exposed. Executives flee. International partners panic. The press explodes with scandal. Walter becomes a national headline, but he can never reclaim his old life because his family is still missing. His identity is still compromised. Powerful remnants of the Combine still want him dead. And in the final pages, he receives a message. We have them. Attached is a photo of Emily and Harper, alive, terrified. And then, come alone. No FBI, no allies. You want them? Finish what your father started. Walter realizes the Combine isn't dead, just wounded, and he must become something even more dangerous to finish the war. The final line: Walter Nash stepped into the shadows, not to hide, but to hunt.